Hello everyone! This week we're going to talk about ants. Ants, those little tiny little insects that crawl around all over the place. Well, let's first, before we start talking about ants, before we start to do our hands-on thing, I want to read one part in the Bible that talks about ants in Proverbs. It's Proverbs 6. It says, "Go to the ant, you sluggard." A sluggard is like a lazy person, okay? "Go to the ant, you sluggard. Consider its ways and be wise. It has no commander, no overseer or ruler, yet it stores its provisions in summer and gathers its food at harvest." So, if a person is not working very hard, doesn't work hard, he should look at the ant, because if you start looking at an ant, you will see the ant is always busy. You never see an ant just sitting down in his chair and relaxing and looking at the world around him and taking a break. Now, ants just don't do that. Doesn't mean people cannot do that, but if somebody's a lazy person, he should look at the ant and see how the ant is always busy, always working, and we can learn from it, because the ant prepares for the next season and stores food for a time when there is not so much food. So it is getting ready. And even though it does not have a commander, God has not created ants with a super ant or an overseer ant that, for instance, uses a whip to tell the ants, "Okay, ants, work harder, work harder." No, the ants by themselves, they're working hard. And so, also, for us, there's a lesson in it for all of us, okay? That when we do our work, we should not need a supervisor, but we should do our work because God created us to work and to do work for His kingdom, okay? So that's something we can learn from the ant, from the Bible. So, in this lesson, we're going to do an experiment. And the question that we're going to ask is, what kind of foods do ants like? Now, what is an experiment? Well, the best way to explain what an experiment is to do one. Okay? And then you'll see what an experiment is. Or maybe you already know what an experiment is. But it's a way of finding out about the world around us by having a very controlled setup so we can answer a question that we have about something that we see. Okay, so the first thing that you do in an experiment is a question. Okay, the question that I just asked already. Question: what kind of food does the ant like? All right, then we're going to make a prediction. What do you think? What kind of food ants would like? And you might say something like this. And by the way, I'm reading from this sheet, which you can print off. It's underneath this video, so you can print it off and have your own copy, so you can write the answers on here, or you can write it in your journal. So the prediction is something like this: I think the ants will like sweet things, because I like sweet things, so maybe the ants will like sweet things, like maybe apple, maybe jam, or maybe honey. Now, when we set up an experiment, we always want to have a control. Okay, so we want to have a lid, we want to have a setup where we don't put any sweet stuff on it. We just put some water on it to see if the ants will be attracted to something that is sweet because it is sweet, or maybe do this to be attracted to something because, well, it just happens to be there. Okay? Now the water will give us a control, and it allows us to make better conclusions. Now, if you don't know what I mean, later on at the end of this experiment, we'll look at that again. Okay? So we're going to have 5 lids of yogurt or something like that. and we're going to add water to one of them, a little bit of apple, a little bit of jam, a little bit of honey, and then you decide which two other things you're going to add on the other two lids. Yeah? And so we're going to have 6 lids altogether. And then we're going to put it outside by a nest. Now, how can you find out there's a nest? Because there's usually a mound, okay? A little bit of a hill that the ants have made. Because when they're digging out from underneath the ground, they have to do something with the soil, so they bring it to the surface, and you get a little bit of a hill outside from all the passageways that they have built or that they have dug. Okay, so then we're going to put the lids out, and we're going to check it after 10 minutes, after 30 minutes, and then again after 2 or maybe 3 hours. Okay, and see if anything came to the lids, and we can find out which of these foods attracted the most ants. Now, maybe we don't attract ants, maybe we'll attract other kind of animals. That's okay too. Hopefully we get some ants. All right, let's start. Now, when you go outside, you can take a picture, and then you can look at the picture and then write down what you see from the picture. Okay, that's probably the best way of doing it. Rather than taking this paper outside, you can just fill in this graph from this table. You can fill in this table from the picture that you took. Yeah, so here are the different foods and the water, which is the control. Oh, no, I put the water at the end. The water is the control at the end. And then after 10 minutes, 30 minutes, and 3 hours. So what did you see? Just fill in this chart, okay? All right. Okay, so I'm going to prepare some delicious dishes for ants. So I'm going to use yogurt lids, and I'm going to put a little bit of honey, a bit of jam, a bit of piece of apple. I'm going to use, and of the 6 different kinds of foods that I put out, 2 of them you choose yourself. So I'm choosing the 2 that are not mentioned on the sheet. I'm going to choose strawberry. I think ants might like strawberry. And I'm going to choose sambal. It's very spicy food you can add to your spaghetti or nasi or something like that. So I'm going to add this very spicy food. So maybe ants like the spicy food. I don't know. And I'm going to put a little bit on each lid, and we'll see what the ants like. Let's check it out. So I have them all laid out on a tray, and these are just the regular yogurt containers. You should have 6 yogurt containers, or otherwise you can use some other kind of container. That's no problem. So I numbered them. 1, I already got some water on here, and on this one I got some honey already on here, and I'm going to add some jam to it. 2, there we go. That's all. They'll like that. They'll love this, I think. I'm ready to find an ant's nest. And if there are ants crawling around, that's pretty good indication that an ant's nest is close by. So I'm going to check underneath logs, under brush, and I'm sure that there'll be some ants around. Now, if it's really dry outside and near your house there are, everything is pretty dry, you might not find ants unless you look underneath a stone or between the pavers. You might find some underneath things that are on the lawn. So check underneath objects, and there may be some ants crawling around underneath. Okay, especially paving stones and things like that. But okay, let's grab this. Let's see. Dinner is served, ants. Dinner is served. Come and get it. So I'm gonna roll over the log, and let's see, what do we got here? I think we see some ants here. Okay, so I put these 6 lids out, and while I put the lids out, I just noticed that there was a little froggy hopping around. Look at this guy here. I did not expect a frog hopping around in the middle of the forest underneath a log. Look, there he is. He's a little bit, I don't know if he's alive still. He's not moving much. There he is. Look at him. What a beaut. Okay, so we're gonna keep checking to see what kind of animals are gonna be attracted to these food items. But I thought I saw an ant here, and I think the ant will come and find it and tell all his buddies, hey, come on out here, there's lots of food here. So let's find out. I'm gonna come back in 10 minutes. Now, that doesn't look like an ant. That looks more like a dog. Hey, hey, come. Yeah, get doggy. Okay, so 10 minutes have passed, and I'm going to check to see if any of the ants are eating my food. Will they eat the jam, or the honey, or the apple, or the sambal, the spicy stuff? I don't know. Or maybe they'll just like water. Maybe there won't be anything at all. Let's have a look. Oh, of course I have to make sure that I find the trap back again. Okay, I have to go very sneak up on it. Let's see, there they are. There it is. There it is. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Okay, what will we find? Oh, I don't see anything there. I see a fly. Hey, what's that? A fly? Anything here? Anything here? Anything there? No, just two flies. You know what? I think I put them in the wrong spot. I'm gonna have to pick them up again and put them closer to an ant's nest. So I'm going to try a new location. Maybe this one will be better, but I don't really see ants' nests. So I'm starting to wonder if this the weather is just not the right time to find ant mounds. Because really, that's what you're looking for. You're looking for ant mounds. I don't see them yet. Okay, so we're going to try this board. I'm going to lift this board up. Okay, I'm going to lift this board up, and still everything's pretty wet here. Look at all the pill bugs that are here. Look at all potato bugs, pill bugs, isopods. There's different names for them, but look at them all. They're crawling all over this board. So maybe they like sweet stuff, but I'm not so sure. I'll leave them here, and I'll come back in 10 minutes and see if there are any ants. But there's one wasp that really likes it, it looks. Is he gonna tell his buddies? 10 minutes have passed, so I'm going to check it again. Hopefully the second attempt is better than the first. Is this the same wasp that was here 10 minutes ago? But I don't see any ants. I'm going to come back in 20 more minutes and see if anything changed.